Hey, what's up, everyone? Time to get back into solid modeling with Microvellum Toolbox. This one's going to be about using the extruded tools to modify a custom product created with the Extruded Product Builder. So let's get going. This is a continuation of the last video in the solid modeling training plan, where I went through the process of turning a simple 2D section drawing into 3D solid objects with the Extruded Product Builder. Now that I have this product built, I can go through and make some additional edits. But before doing that, let me hide some of these parts and focus on this situation with the corner. So when there's a corner like this, you'll probably want to do something to make sure that it's going to get built properly, and there's also a good way to attach the finished panels. And this is when you use the extruded tools. I'll be modifying these parts and deleting the ones that I don't need. Since these are the vertical entities, these are the tools to use here. First, the option to delete a part. But hold off on selecting that. Just a side note, there is another way, and that's by removing the part from the tree view. You can use this target button to highlight the part, and right-click to show the option to remove. So you can go ahead and keep that one in your back pocket. All right, back to the Extruded Tools tab. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete the stud, and then move this one, and I can do that one of three ways. Either move the part anywhere in this drawing, move it to a point on the construction path, or somewhere on the construction path from a specific base point. I'm going to pick the one where I don't need to select a base point, and just pick a point on the construction path. Okay, and now we'll go ahead and make a copy of the stud and place it in the corner. Now this is similar to the move command, where there's going to be a few different options. This time I'll use the one where I do need to pick a base point. And then I'll go ahead and place it right on that corner. All right, well, that actually worked out better than I thought. I was thinking I'd also need to rotate it. But because it recognized the point as being part of the next section in the construction path, it automatically rotated for me. So that's good, save the step. Now copy this next one and do the same thing. This time I will need to rotate it, and here's the button for that. This is its current angle, so just need to change that back to 0. And the last step is to move it back where it'll land on the frame. This time select the move option where it can move anywhere in space. Pick the part. Now I'm just going to pick a starting point of that part, move the cursor over in the direction I want it to move, and give it an amount. This will be 3/4 the thickness of the part. So that's good, but most of the time you wouldn't need to have those cutouts. So the way to remove those is by making these two corner studs an alternate profile. With this feature, I can draw another shape and make it the profile of the part that I select. Select the alternate profile in the palette, then the part or parts to change, and now the new profile. This is going to prompt you to set up a new smart layer for this part. The layer will just have a new name and material, but leave everything else as is. What's going to happen is that these parts will inherit their parents' properties because they're still falling inside of that wall stud group. So when I make edits to the parent group, those new profiles are included. Next up, we'll be turning on a method of attachment. The first one will be dados. Go ahead and set it to true. Then you can have a dado stop or width gap. I'll give the width a little bit of tolerance, and then pick a joint associate. Once that's done to the vertical entities, go to the parts that those vertical parts will need to be attached to, and update those settings for the extrusion to apply machining. Then finally, the last thing to do, after updating the settings, is to adjust the size of the part. And then, of course, if there's an alternate profile, make sure to adjust that too. Now, the dado depth is going to be determined by how much you add to the part. I'm going to add 1/4 inch to the top and bottom. Okay, so if this is happening where the part is just dadoing into the top plate, and here you go, you can see it a little bit better if I isolate just those parts. So this means that the product's base point needs to be changed. But before I do that, I'll also go ahead and update the size of the rest of the wall studs. Notice on my wall, these double studs also didn't go into the bottom plate. No worries, here's the fix. Go to the product in the tree view, and change the base point offset vertical to -1. A negative value will move the product down, and a positive value will move it up. Okay, so some of the changes reverted, and the corner studs stayed where they were. Now that's because of them being an alternate profile. Sometimes after redrawing the product, you could lose some of those changes. It's usually a good idea to save all the modifications made with the solid modeling tools to the end, or after the settings on the smart layers for the parts are all looking good. Now I'll have to go back through and get this product back to where it was. First with the vertical joint association, then with the extruded tools, and then this is just some rinse and repeat from before. I'm going to delete one of the studs and move the other over just a few inches, but since I already did that, I'll just go ahead and jump ahead. All right, almost there. Now the corner studs. Use the move command in the extruded tools, and I'll move them down the same amount as the offset in the product, 1 inch. Oh yeah, and don't forget the dado amount. So add another 1/4 inch to that. There we go, and that covers how to add dados to vertical parts. Next up are the dowels. First changing the setting in the smart layer for use dowels to true, and then resize the part so it fits between the top and bottom plates. After that's done, the 2D objects that represent the dowel holes need to be drawn. These rectangles are going to need to be the same width as the vertical tool in the tool file that's going to be doing the drilling. This is 5 millimeters for everyone not using the Imperial library. And the dimension in Y will be the depth of the hole. All right, now move it over to the section drawing. And I'll also need to stretch it into this top plate so it drills into that face. Then, just to finish up, copy those to the bottom plate. Next step. These entities then need to be added to the wall stud smart layer. So right-click to edit, and select the vertical dowel associates. Okay, and like before, parse moved back. So let me go ahead and fix that real quick. There. And then you see that I still got this little piece connected, so I can fix that by adding a little bit to the dado stopgap. Going back into the settings of the smart layer, and just like that. So that's how you make modifications with the extruded tools and add a construction method. Well, that'll wrap it up for this one. Thanks for watching. There's still more to come in this series on solid modeling tools, and be sure to check out some of our other training videos on microvellum.com and our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.